The U shape is more for club music, so more low frequencies, more high frequencies, less mid frequencies. Hey guys, welcome to the studio. You might be wondering why it looks different. I'm starting to moving to the new studio. Today is a fully packing day, so not that interesting. So we'll definitely do something else that is fun. But first up, the microphone, the measurement microphone is going out today. And it's time again, finally time again for another Sounds and Sample edition. It's like a small sample pack you can use for free. You can use it in your production and you have all of the rights. You can download it down below. The link is in the description. This time by Slider. It's also a music producer that is part of the AXSENS crew. He released so far Memories, and there are 3 more songs of him coming up. So just get those samples. You can also download all of the old. We're now finally at version number 10. And now, since it's really just packing and mostly going through my old records and sorting them out and putting them in order, let's do something more fun, another track submit. So, track submits, you send me songs, I listen to them, I give you feedback and try to help you by criticizing, telling you what I would improve, what would be the next step, what should you work on. So first up for today is a song by Pele Severin. It's called Sunset. Very chill track, something I actually like. The smoother the better. The bass line is by far the thing I like the most. The sound of the bass line is good. Keep that, work on that. Try to incorporate that into your style. Try to use it on most of your songs. Mixing wise, the song is actually extremely far off. I mean, you can just already see it in the analyzer. There's way too much low end and low mid frequencies. And the bottom half of the song, there's nothing. There are no hi-hats crispy standing out. There's like no pad or strings that are playing in the higher frequencies. It's really not well balanced. There's too much low end. And that's what most people do when they start producing. They listen to other people's music and think they need to make it better and have even more bass. And then it's just too much bass and you're killing the song and the groove and the vibe, the dynamic, everything. So just lower all of those bass parts or just increase the volume of the top frequency parts and you will get a smoother, more even kind of track. That's really important. If you have, for example, a track where you have like a flat kind of curve going down a little on the top frequencies or the low frequencies, that's fine. If you have a bell shape or a U shape for club music, that's fine. But if it's so far off as it is with this track, it just can't sound good. You could just show me the analyzer, the graph, and I could tell you that this isn't mixed properly. Also, the very, very low, like below 30 Hertz, there is way too much stuff there. Just cut it. You don't need anything below 30 Hertz. Most speakers can't even play it, and the few that can play it, it doesn't make anything better. It just takes away their movement because they have to produce those very low frequencies. Just cut it. 30 Hertz, cut. The next song is called The Tower, produced by sineUP, and it's called Genius Track, and it's East Coast rap. We haven't had a rap hip-hop song in a long while, so excited.
That's the way to navigate through the deep mode. Rabid hatred is escapism and emo. So instead we play the game as the hero, speaking to the earlobe. But can they hear me though? Am I evil when I love backward? Is it my fault when I'm short on valor? So many things I don't know, so leave me in the tower one more hour. Am I evil when I love backward? Is it my fault when I'm short on valor?
I like it. I mean, I used to listen to a lot of hip hop music. I'm not an expert in producing it because when I was still into hip hop, I was just DJing. But it's generally good. Like, I especially like actually the rap part. The chorus was cool, was catchy. It sounds a little like Dr. Dre, Eminem from back in the days. It doesn't sound really extremely modern, because nowadays it's just like mumble rap and rap and electronic music fusing. I think the instrumental could be more interesting. It still sounds too much like a loop just sitting underneath of the vocals. I love to see maybe some interaction between the vocals and the instrumental, because it sounds like someone just made an instrumental and got someone to rap on top, and that's usually how it's done. But a good producer will go back into the production and make it actually fit more to the rap. Like, if there's, for example, a small gap or break where the rapper just makes a pause, then maybe add more in the instrumental, or also make a pause in the instrumental. Just try to merge them two more together like they were produced in a session. Next up by Felix, Us, Fading City Lights. That's a cool title. Cool vibe, very old school housey, but then the synthesizer makes it a little more modern again, summer vibey, very chilled, relaxed. Again, what I like. The white noise that is going throughout, maybe cut it at certain points. It gets annoying after a while. And the main chord sound, maybe try it an octave lower. I think an octave lower could make this sound even cooler. Or maybe an octave lower and then a second layer with the same octave and mix the two a little together, just to make the sound a little less bright. I feel like the main chord sound sits up a little bit too high in the frequency. Shifting it one down will just make it cooler, I think. And then you have even room for maybe vocals or maybe for a little bit of guitar, because the main element is still missing. It's just groove, chords, that's what you need for a song. You also need the main element, a main synthesizer or a voice. So these are the three components. One is the groove, the chords, the foundation for the harmonics, and then the main element that just sits right between those two. Next up by Vortex, a song called You. The German says Ü. Ü, like Überraschungsei. Ü, Ü-Ei. If you ever wondered how this is pronounced with the two dots. Has like a slight oriental feel to it. Generally cool. It sounds too much the same throughout the entire track, so definitely work on the arrangement. There needs more to happen. A nice break where things change up a whole lot, and then a drop again where it changes again. It's all about the contrast with music. If it's sounding the same for 3 minutes, why listen to it for 3 minutes? That's something that a lot of people just don't get when they produce music. I mean, you as a producer, you listen to that one loop and try to make it perfect, but the listener will always listen to it from start to finish. So make it interesting over time. That's also one of the key differences between the different art forms. I mean, you have art paintings, you can just view them within the split second, but music is a time component art form. So make sure people enjoy that time. And here in this song, again, looking at the graph and also listening to it, there is like this gap between, let's say, 100 and 300 hertz, like the higher bass part, which is actually in electronic music the nicest, with like the most power and drive, and it's entirely missing. I mean, as I said, with those graphs, you can really look at them and get an idea where your song is lacking something. So I think this person should maybe layer in a bass, a higher bass that is grittier, or maybe chords that are a bit lower to fill out that kind of gap. If you ever look onto your graph and there's like a huge hole, you know there's something missing. You forgot one element, or one of the elements next to it is maybe an octave too high or too low. Then just switch it up and see if it sounds better. If your graph is tilted again, then your track might be too bass heavy or too top heavy. This could be something you're going for depending on the style. The U shape is more for club music, so more low frequencies, more high frequencies, less mid frequencies. In nowadays pop music, it's really flat. In older, like Michael Jackson kind of pop music, you had more like a bell shape, so all the focus and the mid frequencies. Next, by Becca Jones, We Will Work It Out. That's kind of cool, like old schoolish, house-ish, again, very chilled. But yeah, the one thing I would change is there's a lot of call and response, which is fine, but it's maybe too close to each other. So it's very chilled from the sounds, the drums and the pads, but then the call and response, kind of that fast, makes it bouncy and hectic again, and I think unnecessary hectic. So maybe just shift your MIDI a little bit around, stretch those melodies and chords out, and you might have even more room and really get fully committed to that kind of relaxed song. Pretty well balanced, maybe a tiny bit more high frequencies, and the vocal that pops in and out every once in a while is too high. It sits above the mix, so try to lower it on volume a little, more reverb to make it sound more crisp and more natural sitting in the song. Just embed it more in there, because if it just pops up every once in a while, it's already sticking out because it's not always there. It's not a full vocal song, so keep the vocal a little lower. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, today was mostly just chill tracks. I didn't decide that. I always pick random tracks out of the list that I get every week from you guys. If you're interested to send your song, the link is in the description. Don't forget the sample pack. This is extremely cool, like kicks, snares, claps, and some serum presets for free for you to use on your productions. And I hope these kind of graph advices help you, because it's always hard to describe. So using the analyzer is my best option to try and show you what I'm talking about. Don't take it too serious. So if your song looks weird in the analyzer but it sounds good, go with what you hear. That always stands above what you see. But if you're a beginner, this can help you out immensely. So if you have a finished track, you look at the graph and like there are gaps in it, or one side is shifted, and then just go in there again and just try at least to make it look good in the analyzer, and then see if it's better than what you actually heard. Because this might be just your room or the lack of experience in music production, so this can really help. But at the end, always remember, it's about what you hear.